Hey there everybody, Teawrex here, and I am just completely wiped out. We just beat the raid a little, about 4 hours ago, and I said to you all on stream that I would give you a quick and dirty raid guide, and that is what I'm going to do. More or less, it's just going to be commentary over our clear, discussing the specific mechanics, going over strategies, stuff like that. There's probably going to be a much better guide done by folks like Datto very soon, and I recommend checking those out if you want a more comprehensive guide, because they're fan-freaking-tastic. I don't really use them, because we do everything day one, and we figure everything out. But you know, that's alright. So, let's first cover the arena. First off, your big boy boss is right there in the middle. You saw him there with the white shield. He is going to be constantly shooting fire at you, that if you stand in, obviously hurts you. He fires it pretty often. He's going to usually target a specific party member and then shoot it at you over and over again. Sometimes he'll be lucky, he'll shoot it once. Sometimes he'll be really unlucky, and you'll get 4 flames in a row. On the outside of the arena, where we're fighting around, there is 4 plates. One you just saw me stand on. Those plates are used for accessing a space elevator, which you will need for later. If all 4 are not active, the space elevator will not exist. There is also another set of plates on the inside, 3 of them versus 4. The 3 on the inside have corresponding doors and symbols. On the left-hand side, you have the square symbol in front of a door. The middle, bottom, whatever you want to call it, has a circle symbol, and the right one has a triangle symbol. Each one of those corresponds to another mechanic that I will cover in a little bit. That is about it for the arena proper. The only other thing I want to mention is on the platform above the doors with the symbols, there's going to be pillars of light that you'll be using for a different mechanic. That mechanic you've already been familiar with if you have done the previous part of the raid, called Greed. You are going to need Greed plus the balls that the boss shoots out pretty often for a lot of different things. So, let's get into the actual nitty-gritty mechanics. When the fight starts, after walking onto the middle platform, stuff just pops off. For a hot minute, you're just going to be killing ads and keeping yourself safe. There's going to be Centurions that spawn with solar shields that you'll need to kill. I think there's 3 specific ones for right, left, and middle. Once you kill all of them, you'll be pretty much safe for the next part of the fight. After that, the boss is going to shoot out a psionic charge at one of the 4 specific plates. So you see a ball right there. They always line up with a plate every single time. You saw another one get fired right there as well. That was me being a complete idiot, but that's not besides the point. Don't ask why I threw it there. I don't know either. Anyways, after you kill the ads and the Centurions, and he shoots out the ball, everyone is going to be, I forget the exact buff's name. The one where it lights you on fire. I think it's about 15 seconds. It looks like you have like a void shield on top of you, and the only way to get rid of it is by holding a greed ball. Sorry, if I see it, I'll point it out again, but I can't recall off the top of my head. I'll be seeing it here shortly, I'm sure. So, after he shoots out the first ball, you are going to have it, and it's already going to have greed. You are then going to throw it to all of your teammates, and then throw it directly at the boss. That is going to trigger the next part. If you get 10 stacks of greed, you are going to basically die. So you have to be pretty quick about it, and you also have to beat the timer before the debuff he puts on you, blows you away. You can get away with a death here. If you don't get the 6th person, you can always bring them back up, but you lose the tokens, so ideally you want to prevent that. Typically, for whichever side it starts on, we will use the ball on those 3 people first. So for example, if it starts on my side, the very far left side, Char is usually to my right, and then Reb, and then the other 3. So, it would start with me, I'd throw to Char, he'd throw to Reb, then they'd throw to Goth, then Broman, then Gunny, then the boss. But you gotta make sure you throw it to all 6 people. If you don't, well, someone's gonna die. If you don't hit the boss, you're going to wipe. After you do that, oh boy, things get more fun. Those 4 plates I was mentioning are going to have 4 gladiators be dropped via the Cabal pods, the ones that squish you in the public events, directly on top of all 4 of those plates. You need to kill them because you need those plates to activate the space elevator during this phase. So typically we baited them into the rooms that I'm currently standing in, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. If you stand above them and shoot towards the plate towards them, they'll jump up towards you, and then 3 people in that area will burst them down. Feel free to use heavy. Those guys hit real hard, especially if you're under light. They might even one-shot you. So be very careful. They are dangerous. Use grenades, whatever you have, while still trying to save some stuff for the damage phase. After you kill them, 4 players will have to hop onto those plates that they got dropped on, and then it spawns the space elevator. After it spawns the space elevator, there's going to be, well, I guess, sorry, during the moment when the 3 gladiators are there, 3 members are going to be picked to be, what is it? Royal servants? I forget the buff's name again. I'll point it out as soon as I see it. Sorry for not remembering everything. It's been a long day. Those 3 people are the only people who can go up the space elevator without dying. If you go up without the buff, you are going to die. Simple as that. So, after you figure out who is going where, you are then going to figure out who can take what plate in an expedient fashion. Use whatever communication method you need, whatever the best way is for you to do that, so that way you don't die. After all 4 plates are stood upon, any one of those 3 people can go up and look at the ships that you've already killed at this point once in the previous encounter before this boss. You're going to see 2 symbols for 2 ships this time. Circle, square, or triangle. After they come back, you are then going to have 2 balls spit out at you. 2 balls for 2 ships to lock onto those ships. So, to have the lock-on work, you are first going to know, okay, we have, let's say, square and circle. Square on the left and circle in the middle. Those are the 2 doors you need to use the balls on. And what do I mean by that? After the boss spits out the 2 psionic balls at you, you're going to go get greed out of the center with whoever gets them, or whatever method that you prefer. We usually had a group of 2 per specific door, as the ones who would be throwing the ball inside of the door, but honestly, that's up to your discretion. As you can see, those 2 balls just got thrown out now. Kill the ads, and then as soon as you can, step on the plates with the symbols to open the doors, and then throw the greed-infested psionic balls into the doors to lock on to the extra ships outside. After that, you want to retreat, kill ads, and live. During that moment again, you'll get 2 more balls spat out, which you'll have to do the same mechanic for the lock-on, where you have to spawn the space elevator, except you combine it with the lock-on mechanic, where you have to also get the greed balls to the servants who are going through the elevator to then throw at the ships to blow them up. So in short, you lock on, you get more balls, the guys go up the elevator again, they throw the balls at the locked-on ships, the Leviathan fires upon them, and they explode. Congratulations, you didn't die. Hopefully. After that, you're going to have a fuck ton of ads spawn. How many? Oh god, they don't stop. During this moment, you are going to have a ball spat out at you. This is the ball you're going to use to break the shield. 3 specifically. It can be on any of the 4 plates, every single time for all 3. The first one gets spat out, someone needs to grab it, go to the middle, collect greed, and then hold on to the ball and start passing it around like hot potato. You are essentially now playing hot potato with 3 of these balls, trying not to get greed stacks to 10. That is the entire thing. Do with that how you will. We usually kept it around to 9 stacks and then seeked out a clean target who had like maybe 3 or 0 to throw to so they can collect it. After you have all 3 balls with greed, Callus, a shadow behind the boss, is going to spawn with his hand showing a whole bunch of void energy. You throw the balls at that, and you are going to then have the shield removed by the Shadow Callus, and you can do damage. Now let's talk about damage. The crit spot for this boss is his tanks on his back. The entire tank. So it's not just the void part. So if he turns around, blow him away all over his back. That didn't sound great. Anyways. That's about it. But I'll cover it more in length. Our specific strategy was to use Melting Point with a Titan to reduce his overall armor while doing big boy damage. We had 2 Nighthawks during this phase, 2 Void Walker. I guess Reb was a Dawn Blade, but he didn't use it during Super. So I guess a Dawn Blade, me as a Void Walker, and then 2 Solar Titans. Solar Titans had great damage with Hammer plus Vulcan. It was great. They didn't really use their barriers for weapon damage at all. but the melting point that was applied, I forget the actual perk at this point, because it's just what we all know it from D1 as, where it sunders armor. That gives an insane damage boost. I also highly recommend bringing the Darcy along. If you can manage to hit the back consistently, especially if he's turned away from you. You saw before I was doing 14k crits. Granted, I am 371 during this fight, which is higher than most. I was very fortunate to be this high. Granted, I did have to grind a crap ton, so it did take a while. Look at that guy with a serious face. He's so serious. Okay. So the buff that I was talking about when you were on fire is called Engulfed. You saw that, I believe, in the first area? I can't recall. It's where if you don't get the greed ball, you're going to explode and die. Once again, you're killing ads here, making sure everyone is safe, all that stuff. Once everyone is clean, there is the lasers for the ball spawning with the gladiators. As you can see, they just popped in. I am now going to peek over the ledge to try to prompt him up. There they are. Throw a grenade to lock him down. Just shoot him with my teammates. Bam, done. Okay, so during this part, once again, picking up ammo. Oh, that's a great point. If you have ammo problems, I highly recommend the raid arms with giving hand and smacking things. It was a lifesaver for me. I had so much power, and it was incredibly necessary for damage for our team. DPS phases are kind of your specific team comp's responsibility. I can't exactly tell you the best way to do it, because I don't know. I can tell you how we did it. So, this is us activating the lock-on lasers after being told what they were. Opening the door, throwing it in. So you see how in the bottom left-hand corner it says Missile Barrage Armed. Means we did it properly. I felt like we should have failed this part. And then we got it. So we got the Fusion Missile Armed as well. So that's both ships locked on. Everyone backs up. And then after we get resituated, we hop back on our plates. Figure out which people need to get the balls, get the greed, hop in, and throw. Which is what we're doing right now. Gets thrown to me for some reason. Throw it to Broman. That throw was God tier. Out of the air. They both hop in. I think, does Broman die? I'm unsure.
Oh my god, please, he's gonna smash! You're both... Oh my god.
Gunny died. But it's okay. Sorry. I'm like watching this enthralled, to be completely honest, because I haven't watched this all the way through yet myself with all the audio and whatnot. So, you have enough grace period to where if somebody dies during this moment, you can have the person who went before. So in this example, I think it was Professor Broman. He went again, despite Gunny dying, to kill the other ship. You have a pretty large grace period, but you still want to be as quick as possible. He blows up the other ship right here. There it is, the bottom left-hand corner. This is the last phase. You have 3 damage phases. Specifically for Voidwalkers, I highly recommend if you can survive using Empowering Rift and then just use Devour for your health regen. One extra thing to remember about during the DPS phase, on top of the boss shooting his fire, he is going to be shooting missiles at you, which can be shot out of the air, but they're pretty much one-shots. In fact, I believe they 100% are for everyone in our raid team, at least. And if you do not take care of them during the damage phase, you need to be very wary of them. You can shoot them down, but they are fast. We had a dedicated person shooting them down. That was Rebel Eyes, since he was our lowest light, and he did a pretty dang excellent job. So that covers most things, but we will wait here for just a moment to see the end of the fight, because there's one more thing left to cover. And I'm sure if you've seen any other Destiny raid, you know that maybe once the boss is dead, the boss isn't dead. Here we are, juggling the 3 balls, hot potato style. Throw it to Broman. He gets ready. They all throw at the same time. 1, 2, 3, baby. Grenades Nova. Throw this down, throw the Darcy down. There's Broman's melting point. Lay on the back. Trying to stay safe, not die to the missiles. So, a whole bunch of balls get thrown out. Just like before, you want to pick them up and throw them at the boss. If you don't throw them at Val, you're going to have a harder time. They each take a chunk of his final shield off, and as soon as you throw all of them, he has a little bit of health left. Shoot him a bunch. I couldn't begin to tell you how much health he actually has, but it's a solid chunk. But there you have it. That is, for the most part, a quick and dirty explanation of most of the raid mechanics. If I forgot to mention something, I do apologize. It's about 11 o'clock. I streamed for 12 hours today, and we were raiding for a solid 7 of them. We got world second, and I couldn't be prouder of our team. It would have been awesome to get first, but hey, dude. We've been consistently top 10, but we just can't seem to win. And I got a contender shell. Hell yeah, dude. But that's about it, guys. Feel free to share with people who might need assistance. Once again, I do apologize for the pretty low quality raid guide that this is, but I hope it does help you somehow. I'll see you guys next stream. Have a great evening.